Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Ingleside Public Library's virtual Sleep Tight story time. Today's book will be What Presidents Are Made Of by Hanoch Piven. Of course, you know on the 20th will be President's Day, so that's why we're reading this. So, presidents are made of good deeds. In George Washington's time, there was no fire department. If a house caught on fire, everyone nearby was supposed to help put it out. Just a few months before he died, at the age of 67, Washington was riding on his horse down the street when he heard that a fire had broken out near the market. He jumped off his horse and began to pump water to pour onto the flames. When people saw the first president fighting fire, they ran to help. Presidents are made of comfortable shoes. Thomas Jefferson hated stuffy former manners. He wore shabby clothes and muddy boots inside the White House. Officials from other countries were shocked when he met them in his dressing gown and slippers. Jefferson even let his pet mockingbird fly free around the White House. Presidents are made of hot tempers. Andrew Jackson fought in several duels, mostly with people who had insulted his wife. In one duel, Jackson was shot in the chest. The bullet was too close to his heart to be removed, and it stayed in there all his life. A man who once dueled with Jackson said simply, "I had a fight with Jackson. A fellow was hardly in fashion who did it." So apparently he fought a lot. Presidents are made of humble pie. Abraham Lincoln loved puns and funny stories and even made fun of himself. Many people thought he was ugly, and Lincoln agreed with them. When someone called him two-faced, Lincoln answered, "If I had another face, do you think I would wear this one?" Presidents are made of speed demons. Ulysses S Grant loved driving his one-horse carriage fast, sometimes a little too fast. One day, a policeman who didn't recognize the president stopped him as he dashed through the streets of Washington and gave him a $20 fine for speeding. Grant paid the money and wrote a letter praising the policeman for doing his job so well. Presidents are made of endless energy. Theodore Roosevelt studied judo, rode horses, rowed boats, played tennis, climbed mountains, and hunted in Africa. He had pillow fights and played hide and seek with his children, and he always wanted to be it. Roosevelt said, "Don't fritter away your time, create, act, take a place wherever you are and be somebody. Get action." Presidents are made of greatness. William Howard Taft, our heaviest president, weighed more than 300 pounds, 3 times as much as our lightest president, James Madison. He was so big that he got stuck in the White House bathtub. Taft had a new one put in that weighed a ton and could hold 4 average-sized people. Many thought of Taft as jolly because of his size, like Santa Claus, but actually he was miserable being president. Afterward, he became a judge on the Supreme Court, a job he liked much better. Presidents are made of fun and games. Calvin Coolidge said so little that his nickname was Silent Cow. Once, a woman sitting next to him at dinner told Coolidge that she had made a bet she could get more than 2 words out of him. "You lose," he told her. But calm, quiet Coolidge rode a mechanical horse for exercise every morning, whooping like a cowboy. Yeehaw. Presidents are made of picky eating. Even though Franklin D. Roosevelt was president, he couldn't control what he was served for meals. The White House the White House housekeeper was a terrible cook and insisted on making things he hated, like broccoli. Even a special occasion didn't mean she'd serve fancy food. For a luncheon celebrating Roosevelt's re-election, she offered chicken salad, rolls without butter, and cake without frosting. But Roosevelt couldn't bring himself to fire her. He would just fix himself an egg sandwich if he was still hungry after the meal. Presidents are made of lifesavers. John F. Kennedy served in the Navy during World War II, and his boat was sunk by a Japanese ship. Kennedy saved a wounded soldier's life by taking the end of this man's life jacket between his teeth and towing him through the water to an island 3 miles away. When he was later asked how he became a war hero, Kennedy answered, "It was absolutely involuntary. They sank my boat." Presidents are made of all thumbs. Richard M. Nixon had a secret tape recorder in his office, but since he was terrible with machines, Nixon made the recorder automatic, with no buttons to push. It turned on as soon as anyone started talking. Later, Nixon and his people who worked for him committed crimes and lied about them to the public, but the tapes recorded the truth about what had actually happened. Those tapes forced Nixon to resign and leave the White House. Presidents are made of glamour. Years before he became president and before he married his wife, Gerald R Ford, a handsome former football player star, dated a model. Together, the two of them posed for a ski weekend layout called A Weekend in the Life of the Beautiful People in Look magazine. Ford had a copy of the magazine, but as he said, it's not something you flaunt around the house. Presidents are made of helping hands. Helping people is important to Jimmy Carter. He taught Sunday school while president, and afterward he decided to spend his time doing good for others. Carter traveled around the world trying to make peace between countries, and one week every year he built houses for the homeless for an organization called Habitat for Humanity International. Presidents are made of sweet stuff. Ronald Reagan loved jelly beans and kept a jar on his desk to share, but he tried to keep his favorites, the coconut ones, for himself. Reagan was the first movie star to become president. After college, he worked in radio and then the movies, and soon became famous. In one movie, Bedtime for Bonzo, he starred he started with a chimpanzee. Reagan used part of the monkey he made making movies to buy his parents a house. Oh, I'm sorry. He used part of the money he used, not the monkey. You can't use the monkey to buy a house. He used part of the money. Presidents are made of two left feet. George Bush met his wife Barbara at a dance. He wanted to get to know the woman in the red and green dress, but he was too embarrassed to ask her to dance, so they just talked. At their wedding, George finally danced with Barbara, but warned her that she'd better enjoy it. He would never dance in public again. Presidents are made of enthusiasm. Bill Clinton does everything full tilt. He loves to eat. People have seen him chew up an apple in a few bites, skin, core, seeds, and all, and gobble an entire pie without even using a fork. He also loved to read, to play jazz saxophone, and to talk. One of his teachers in grade school even gave him a C for raising his hand too often. Presidents are made of sports fans. George W. Bush is the first president to have owned a baseball team. Before he was president, he bought a share in the Texas Rangers. Bush loves baseball, but he didn't buy the team just for fun. He paid less than $500,000 for his share and sold it later for more than $15 million. Barack Obama learned one thing from family stories about his father. The key to success is believing that you can succeed. Whatever Obama takes on, getting good grades, shooting baskets, or running for president, he's confident about his changes. His wife's brother says that Obama plays basketball the same way he goes through life. He's confident, not afraid to shoot the ball, and he wants to try to win. Of course, this book was made before Trump and the president Biden now. So they're missing. But in the back, it shows all the presidents in order from George Washington all the way to Barack Obama. The end. What presidents are made of. If you enjoyed this book, go out and to your local libraries if you want to learn more about presidents and check them out. But for now, good night and sleep tight.